Skills Training Videos welcomes you to our series on general safety in the workplace. This is Module 7 of the series. The objective of this module is to inform you of general health and safety rules. South Africa has an Occupational Health and Safety Act, in short the OSH Act. This act ensures that all employers and employees comply with health and safety rules laid down by the government. Built into each job, which includes yours, there will be health, safety, fire protection, and environmental considerations. Your company should provide training to you on all these aspects. Your company strives for the safest possible working conditions. This can, however, only be achieved with your cooperation. It's therefore your responsibility to take all reasonable care to ensure your own safety and the safety of those around you by adhering strictly to the health and safety rules and the procedures laid down by your company. Disciplinary procedures will be followed against any employee, visitor, or contractor who does not adhere to these rules, procedures, and standards at all times. Let's now look at the general health and safety rules. Everybody on the company's premises is required to comply with all recognized safety practices. In your workplace, you will notice certain safety signs that constitute safety rules. They are there for your safety and should be adhered to at all times. These signs will also indicate the location of emergency equipment and emergency exits. It's crucial that you know their location. You should also know where any emergency shut-off valves and switches are. Should you at any time notice any unsafe or unhealthy condition, you have to report this to a supervisor or responsible person. Always report any damage, breakage, unusual operation, or unsafe condition of machinery or equipment. Should you be involved in an incident that may affect your health, or in an accident resulting in an injury, no matter how small the injury, then you have to report this and be able to provide correct information regarding the incident. Observe crane and hoist warnings. Only use authorized aisles, passageways, and staircases. Use handrails where they are provided on stairs, ramps, or platforms. Where doors are provided for pedestrians and vehicles, make sure to use the pedestrian door and not the vehicle doorway. Only operate machinery or work in locations that have been authorized by your supervisor. Confined spaces are life-threatening. Under no circumstances are you allowed to enter without a permit. Use only authorized ramps, ladders, or platforms. If you have to climb higher than 2 meters, you should wear a safety harness unless specific safety barriers and guarding are in place. Do not climb on racks, bins, conveyors, machines, or piles of stock. Always walk, never run in any plant, warehouse, or administration building. Fighting is prohibited on the premises, as well as participation in any form of horseplay. No intoxicating liquor or drugs are allowed. If you are under the influence of alcohol or drugs, you will not be permitted in the workplace. If you take any medicine, it should not pose a threat to your safety or the health and safety of those around you. While doing the job, make an effort to keep the work area clean and hazard-free. No drain should willfully be blocked. Don't litter. Place rubbish in the bins that are provided for the purpose. Don't leave it lying around to become a hazard or create pollution. Your company also has to make available an adequate supply of drinking water. Drink only the water from approved sources, which will be indicated by this sign. Please be aware that eating, drinking, and smoking are only permitted in special areas that have been designated for such purposes. Do not create any unhygienic conditions. You are not allowed to spit and only urinate in a toilet or urinal. Safety rules are there for your safety and should be adhered to at all times. Let's now look at the general duties of employers to their employees. As mentioned, your employer has to comply with the Occupational Health and Safety Act. At the same time, they have to make sure that any person on the company's premises adhere to the health and safety rules laid down. Your company has to provide and maintain, as far as possible, a working environment, systems of work, and machinery that are safe and without a health risk to you. Before resorting to personal protective equipment such as respirators, your company must try to eliminate or reduce any hazard or potential hazard. They have to establish, as far as possible, what health or safety hazards there would be to your job, and then enforce precautionary measures to protect you from these hazards. After this has been determined, the company has to provide you with the necessary information, instructions and training, as it is important for you to understand the hazards associated with your job. Next, we will discuss general duties of employees at work with regards to health and safety. As mentioned, it's your responsibility to take all reasonable care to ensure your own safety and the safety of those around you by adhering strictly to the health and safety rules stipulated by your employer. If any situation which is unsafe or unhealthy comes to your attention, or if you're involved in any accident or incident which may affect your health, you have to report this as soon as possible to your employer or safety representative. You also have to carry out any lawful order given to you in the interest of health and safety. It remains your responsibility to familiarize yourself with the safety rules of an area before entering that area. If you don't know what the safety rules are, contact the safety department or your health and safety representative. Let's now have a look at the role of health and safety representatives. Health and safety representatives are elected from the workforce and trained in health and safety principles. Being elected as a health and safety representative is a great accomplishment, as it indicates that the company trusts that person with a responsibility. A health and safety representative helps the company identify risks to health and safety at the workplace, and they review the effectiveness of measures taken. They also inspect the workplace regularly to view the health and safety of employees. Both the employer and the representative will examine the causes of incidents and investigate health and safety complaints by any employee. They attend health and safety committee meetings where they act as a spokesperson on your behalf. You are therefore encouraged to report any health and safety related concerns to them. Good housekeeping is essential to a safe working environment. Good housekeeping practices are everybody's responsibility and should be promoted and adhered to at all times. While doing the job, make an effort to keep the work area clean and hazard-free. Consider other employees by keeping locker rooms, toilets, ablution and cafeteria areas clean. Place rubbish in the bins that are provided for the purpose. Also keep aisles and floors clear of stock or equipment. Wipe up any liquid spills so they don't become a slipping hazard. Keep machines, tools and equipment clean and store tools in the places provided for them. Only keep the required stock and equipment in your work area. Never store anything on your machine. We turn our attention now to machinery, tools and equipment. Only those items of equipment and tools that are in a good and safe operating condition will be allowed. Any item, especially portable electrical tools that are in bad condition or considered unsafe, will not be allowed on site. Only use tools and equipment for the purpose they were intended for, and make sure you use them safely. Keep your tools clean. Carry them in a toolbox, never in your pocket, as you could fall and hurt yourself. Never work on, adjust or repair machinery unless you are authorized to do so. If there's a lockout sign on a machine, do not interfere with it. Before switching on any equipment, make sure it is in a safe working condition. Never adjust or oil moving machinery. When operating a machine, make sure that everyone is clear of it. Do not place your hands or any part of your body in the point of operation. Do not distract or talk to other employees while they are operating power-driven equipment. Never leave a machine running unattended. You are responsible for ensuring that all machinery, tools and equipment are properly maintained. Report any deficiency or malfunction immediately to your supervisor or to the safety representative. It's your right to refuse to work with any unsafe machinery, tools and equipment. Let's now look at maintenance and repair. As per the relevant OSH Act regulations, the standard lockout and blanking off procedures will apply to all electrical apparatus, all moving machinery, and to any vessel entry or confined space entry. Certain areas also require a permit for you to enter. If you don't have the proper permits, stay out of these areas. Before you oil, adjust, repair or clean equipment, consult your supervisor on the correct lockout procedure for your workplace. After a lockout, before starting up equipment again, check that it is safe to use and that other people are clear of the equipment. Also remember that in certain areas, for instance confined spaces, you need a permit before you are allowed to start welding. Never enter a substation unless you have authorization to enter or conduct maintenance. Any holes and excavations must be cordoned off. We turn our attention now to overhead work. When doing any overhead work, you have to abide by certain rules. If you are working at a height higher than 2 meters above ground level, you have to wear a safety belt or a lifeline. The only exceptions would be if you work on enclosed platforms without the risk of falling. Use only ladders that are in a good condition and equipped with rubber safety feet. If you are using a ladder for several trips, make sure it is properly secured. If you use scaffolding, it must be correctly and safely constructed on a solid surface. Any tools must be safely stored when working aloft. Don't carry items when climbing, and don't drop anything to the ground. Lower and lift them safely by using a rope or similar device. Employees working in areas below overhead workers must wear hard hats to protect them against possible falling hazards. Next, we will discuss safe material handling. Handling materials the correct way can be very important for your safety and the safety of those around you. Always lift slightly heavier objects from a crouching position using your legs and not your back, as you could hurt your back. For heavy or bulky objects, use hoists or other powerlifting equipment. Hoists, cranes and forklifts have a maximum working load. Always adhere to these, never overload. Loads must also be safely stacked and properly secured. It's preferable when stacking material that they interlock to ensure a stable stack. Always ensure that the floor surface is solid and stable. Never place material where it may obstruct emergency exits, firefighting equipment, aisles and walkways. We turn our attention now to compressed air and gas. Compressed air and other gases may only be used for the purpose authorized by a supervisor. Compressed air may not be used to blow off clothing or your person. No naked flame or smoking is allowed near explosive or flammable gas. Also, do not tamper with any gas system, as gas is highly explosive. Gases could also present a cold burns hazard. Under no circumstances are you allowed to leave naked flames unattended. All naked flames must be extinguished and gas supply systems closed off at the end of each shift, unless otherwise instructed by your supervisor. Gas cylinders must always be stored and transported in an upright position and chained to prevent them from falling over. Immediately report any gas and compressed air leaks to your supervisor. This concludes our first part on general safety in the workplace.